What's going on, OKC fans? And before I could even get started, our member Unk is in the chat. What up, Unk? This team is very fun to watch. With that being said, we're going to open up with a 122-95 victory over the Portland Trailblazers. A much needed, I don't want to say needed, it was a payback victory. The team came out in the first quarter and won the first quarter by 21 points, 39-18. So they definitely had this on their mind. They're playing like a team that didn't want one loss on their record so far in the year, which is outstanding. I'll go over the box score real quick. SGA 37, 5, and 7 had 28 points in the first half. Missed one shot in the first half, finished 13 of 18, 2 of 3 from 3, 9 for 9 from the line. And I do believe from going 9 for 9 from the line, he is officially 50, 40, 90 on the season so far. So SGA's keep growing to new heights. Casey goes for 7. Chet 5, 9, and 4. A little off night for Chet. Hartenstein 7 points, 15 rebounds. Dort 5 points. But the big story in this game was Ajay Mitchell goes for 20 points off the bench. 8 for 8 shooting, 2 for 2 from deep. He did miss those 2 free throws, and he did say Gallo was interviewing him at the end of the game. He was like, "Did your teammates tell you that you were perfect throughout the game?" He was like, "No, they actually told me that I missed 2 free throws." That's why we love this team so much. But yeah, let's get this quick comment first by Hotspot here. Damn, the Thunder turned up the heat in the second and third quarter. Yeah, I mean, they just turned it up all game, really. Like, they held the Blazers to under 100, which I want to shout out me and Jack really quick, all right? We're not a betting show, okay? Don't come to us for betting advice. But in the pregame, I told you under. Jack told you over SGA, over AJ Mitchell. We went 3 out of 4. We told you to take over on Chet, but sorry, we're not a betting show. But I just want to shout that out. And Bradley's in the comments here already. SGA now has 90 straight 20-point games and has had 37 in 3 quarters and has the highest true shooting percentage of any player with 32 points per game. Yes, SGA is reaching historic levels, and I guess I'm going to shoot it over to Satvir to start it out because I know he wants to give some stats about SGA himself.
Yeah, I was going to give the stat about AJ Mitchell that I put in the chat, which was that's his 5th 20-plus point game for the season, and also that was the 6th OKC player ever to score 20-plus points shooting perfectly from the field. Also, SGA has now sat 11 fourth quarters. He's only played 7 fourth quarters. On his updated shooting splits for the season, 54.3 field goal, 41.4 3-point percentage, 89.8 free throws. That's 50, 40, 90 for anyone trying to keep track of that. And he's also doing that on 32 points a night in mainly 3 quarters. Just historic efficiency, I think, for all the advanced analytic nerds talking about Jokic. Nothing Jokic can do can compete with the fact that he has the highest true shooting percentage of someone scoring 32 points, which is, I don't think people understand what kind of territory that puts him in. It puts him in top 5 all-time categories, and this is still really early in his career. So I wouldn't be surprised if he very quickly enters that top 10 conversation as he wins more. But just from him as a player alone without rings and stuff, like, he's undeniably like a top 15 player that we're witnessing this season, and he's only going to shoot up that ladder the more we watch him and more he improves. And even after games, he's putting in a lot of work with his trainer. So it's getting to some special heights, and he's really trusting his 3-point shot on the step backs as well. So just overall, shout out to him. Shai scored 30-plus points for the 15th time in 18 games, and the second half had just started at that point. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have my own Sapphire stat of the night. SGA is now pretty much the best guard shot blocker in the history of the NBA. Over the season, he has a 3% a 3.0 block percentage, which leads the NBA in all time. Number 2 is John Wall at 2.8. Number 3, 4, and 5 on that list is SGA from 25-26, 22-23, and 23-24 seasons. So Also
Crazy.
adds it on the defensive side of the ball. But let's get back to the game. Sending it over to Jack. Jack, your thoughts on tonight's performance from OKC?
Well, first off, I'd like to shout you out for the prediction that they'd be under 100 points, which they were. Like you said, all our betting props were really good in the preview today, so not that you should take our advice ever. Shout out Ajay Mitchell, though. Like, he's just onto it. Just insane. Like, when JDub comes back, when Wiggins comes back, who knows what's going to happen, but we might be averaging 150 points per game because we just have that many scorers. And then shout out Isaiah Hartenstein tonight. I thought he did a great job inside with the rebounds and blocks. It wasn't a night that we needed him to score, which he didn't. But 15 rebounds, 3 blocks, that's all you could really ask for him in a game, really. Like, yeah, just playing his role to perfection, and interior defense was really good tonight. But
yeah, and good. I'm happy you shouted out Isaiah because he had 3 blocks tonight. Chet also added 3 blocks, kind of proving him to be the true leader for defensive player of the year. But you mentioned Isaiah Hartenstein. Hartenstein had a fantastic game. He was 4th on the team in plus minus. SGA led the team with a plus 27. A guy who played 14 minutes tonight. And I want to say this every recap because he deserves it. This guy played 14 minutes. He had 5 points and 3 assists. Alex Caruso had a plus 25 plus minus, was 2nd on the team in only 14 minutes. And I see Hotspot and Bradley coming in the chat here. Yeah, and I agree with Jack as well. Like, this offense is already rolling. And mind you, I mean, we haven't played the best of teams so far this year, but we have beaten up on the Lakers and the Warriors at home. And we just beat the Trailblazers, who have beaten some good teams. This offense might be a historic offense when JDub and Wiggins get back, and they're already one of the best defenses of all time. This is going to be a very special season. I hope we stay healthy, guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, going back to tonight, one thing that we also talked about on the pregame show was just shutting out Denny Advia and making sure he didn't get to the free throw line. Only shot 3 free throws, 4 for 16 from the field, 1 for 8 from 3. So I think that was one of the big parts of winning this game, was keeping him out of it. So shout out to the Thunder for listening to our tactics.
They were able to control everybody tonight. Like Advia goes for 11 points on 4 of 16. It's kind of like where he was at in the first half of the game in Portland. But like we mentioned in the preview, that's the Lou Dort effect, right? Lou Dort wasn't playing in that game in Portland. Lou Dort shut him down all night, and then when he wasn't on it, he passed him right over to Kaysen. Kaysen had a wonderful game defensively as well. But really, everybody outside of Jerami Grant had a solid game, pretty efficient as well. But they had outside of Jerami Grant, they had 2 players over 10 points, or 10 plus points. So the defense really stepped up tonight, and I'm hyped, boys. I'm hyped.
Can I give a quick special shout out to Chet Holmgren and his family for hosting his annual Thanksgiving dinner at the local steakhouse for foster families and children. And this is the 4th year that he's hosted this and got to treat out the families for the holidays, for the special meals. I know it's taken a little away from the game, but I thought it's worth mentioning how much these guys do off the court. So every time they do something, we want to, highlight them the same way the Thunder highlights them, because it's just as important on what they're doing on the court.
Absolutely. And I want to get to a comment here from Mark Espinoza in the chat. It looks like Hotspot already answered him, but I guess we'll answer this as a panel here. He said, if we keep this pace is there anyone that could beat us? And he said, I mean, honestly. I'm going to let you guys go first. Jack, if you want to kick this one off for us.
Yeah, this reminds me back to last year when we were recording before the All-Star break. And I remember saying something along the lines of, if we played the same we do tonight, we're not losing another game.
Right.
And it's still the same reasoning for this, is if we're playing like we are, we won't lose another game, but we won't always. But so theoretically, on this pace of this defensive pace, this offensive pace, yes, we will not lose another game. But obviously, that won't always happen. But
yes.
Yep. As far as my answer, the main thing I'm going to worry about post All-Star break is just probably not something the fans want to hear, and rarely what I say is something fans want to hear, but I do want to start seeing some load management come into our starters and maybe even our sixth man. I rarely say that, but because of how good we are, this team is eerily reminiscent of the Golden State 2016 team, and the biggest thing that hindered them, they had won a championship and they had gone so far into the playoffs to where it was so exhausting and there were so many injuries involved. And both of those things are something I'm looking out for, because it is we are young, but it's still a lot on the body. So the more we can manage them throughout the season and then up until we get to the playoffs and throughout the playoffs, I think we have the best roster to do that. We saw that early in the playoffs last year. We managed most of our starters really well. I was really proud of that. So I think we'll keep that up. But it is something that I'm watching with these injuries because of how far we went to Game 7 of a finals. So year to year, if you keep that up, that's just something naturally to watch out for. I'm not really worried about a specific opponent. I am keeping my eyes out on the Pistons squad out there.
You look good.
That team's looking good. I wouldn't mind facing them in a finals matchup, but for us to go through a gauntlet West and then face a Cade Cunningham, I think that'd be a really tall task, even with the amount of defenders that we have, because he's kind of a unstoppable force at his size. So,
yep. Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I always like when Jack mentions, like, as of right now, the only way we lose games is if we shoot ourselves in the foot and we lose them ourselves. We have a bad night shooting, or the other team has a guy that goes for 50 and they shoot 80% from deep as a team. And Satvir, I mean, one of the greatest thing that's going to come about during this season when Dub and Wiggins get back, and even Topic, hopefully he gets back. We always pray for that. SGA is already load managing because he doesn't play fourth quarters. And he's doing that without Dub and Wiggins on the floor. So that's going to be a rotation where when they get back, SGA won't play a fourth quarter. JDub won't play a fourth quarter here and there. JDub will sit an extra 3 minutes in the second quarter. You get what I'm saying here. We're going to have enough players to keep the rotation smooth to where guys aren't even going to have to take days off. Maybe they'll sit Chet on a back-to-back night because, we want to keep him healthy for most of the season. But they're going to be able to take those mini breaks in between games, sit out fourth quarters, sit out multiple quarters at some point. I'm assuming that's going to happen eventually with this team. So we are in a very good spot. But, yeah, I love the shout of the Detroit Pistons. They remind me of the OKC Thunder from a few years ago. And obviously the Denver Nuggets have a top 2 player in the NBA, and you always got to be respectful of that. I see you are very eager to get some off your mind.
I got to get it off my chest. I've been trying not to cut you off, but I just can't contain this news right here. Philadelphia's loss today gives OKC 3 potential lottery picks at the end of the season. I mean, I'm already bragging to my friends that are Lakers fans that we got 2 picks and we may repeat whatever. To have 3 in the lottery and knowing that, this is a very easy potential finals run here. It's like if we don't win it this season, good luck next season, because we may actually go 81-1 or something crazy, because you bring in 3 lottery level talents on top of this roster. Even if you trade away 2 guys that are high on salary, the names that shall not be mentioned, we're good.
You get there.
Yeah, we're good. So I'm loving life right now. This is crazy.
Yeah, we're riding a high right now. I'll touch on that a little bit, but it hurts my brain to touch. I don't want to talk about it too much.
I'm not mentioning it. We're moving on.
3 potential first lottery picks. They even haven't, if we don't get it done this year, and forgive me for saying that, they have the opportunity to trade picks to get a superstar. All right, anyway, let's move on. I want to get to a lot of these comments because they've been rolling in. I saw a few that I want to get to. First out, shout out Nature here for this comment. Outstanding. But there was a few. Tabby, don't worry. We're going to get to everything. So we'll be on for much longer. You didn't miss anything. And you haven't missed anyone's favorite segment of the night either. So don't worry about that. There was a few more here. And I'm losing them now. Here we go. Unk said, I'm pretty sure Chet wants to play all 82 this year. Yeah, he does. He already missed a few of the on a couple back-to-backs, but He absolutely does. Unk, again, it's a great time to be a Thunder fan. There was one that I really wanted to get to, and I lost it here. So forgive me, everybody, if we're not getting to all the comments. If you do want to be prioritized in the comment section, by the way, go check out our premium memberships on the YouTube channel. We prioritize all of those comments first, and there's many other perks. You go read on that and join the community. Much fun. But I did miss it. So let's go to this comment from Nature. 75-7 this year, and if we get Cam Boozer, 80-2. Yeah, isn't that the luxury that we're riding on right now? It's quite a time to be an OKC fan, and I don't think any of us saw this coming 5 years ago. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to shout out Indie Sports Fan, another member for us, really quick. If I was the Thunder, I'd trade the first round picks to the Patriots for a second round pick. Indy, we all have a lot of respect for the Indiana Pacers. You know that firsthand, but that's something we're gonna have to be a little bit selfish on.
No, I was gonna say we'll slide him one for a player or two if they need to unload some bench guys.
Yeah, if you know, there's a couple of guys on Indiana I don't mind.
Oh yeah.
Let's get back to tonight. Let's get back to tonight's performance because this is really, really special performance tonight. I'm going to ask you guys a question. I want both of you to answer it. How impressive is it for a team that's 16-1 coming into this game? And I know the Portland Trailblazers were the team that beat the OKC Thunder. How impressive is it for the Thunder? You're just watching them, and you see it. You see Shai going crazy, animated, very emotional in the first quarter, wanting to murder They wanted to murder the Trailblazers tonight. How is a team that's this good, that's breezing by all these teams, able just to lock in super early against a 7-9 team coming into tonight and just absolutely dominate them from the jump? That's my question.
Well, I mean, for you and me, it was obvious. Like, we saw it happening from our preview. We knew that they'd be playing with a chip on the shoulder. They wanted to make a statement tonight that the one in their 17-1 record was a fluke. It was because of injuries. It was because Danny Avdija decided to turn into Steph Curry. It wasn't because of the Thunder. Like, they're trying to show, like, they came into the game with a chip on their shoulder, and from the get-go, exactly how we said it. They were shooting good. They were being aggressive. We even saw Hartenstein get the tech after Ajay Mitchell got fouled in transition. Like, it was personal from the jump. Like,
Sapphire, I think your mic broke there for a second.
Yep. I was going to say for this win, for this team, once I saw the injury report, I already knew it was over for them. I wasn't there for the preview, but I saw the report where we had Caruso coming back. Dort's already in the lineup. Like, when you have guys returning, and if we're even semi-healthy against most of these teams, like, we even saw it last year. We only really were missing Chet for a majority of the season, and our victory margin was like plus 15. Now it's even growing past that because our defense is getting even better and offense is getting better. So this was supposed to be an easy win. I don't even think it was a fact of like just they were trying to prove a point. It's just, hey, we just got a couple more guys back and, more Thunder players that we have rotating in and out. I think our 5-5, like our 10-man roster that we can put out is honestly like demonic because you go from Shai to AJ, Dort to Kaysen. You pretty much are trading each player one for one most of the time without much of a drop off or like, from a skill standpoint. So yeah, they had no chance tonight.
Yeah, I want to get to this comment from Mark in the comments as well. He said it just reminds him of a group of friends playing backyard ball. Yeah, but the best thing about it, right, is they have such great chemistry on the floor and off the floor, but they're just a really professional, really good professional basketball team. Like when it's time to win games and win playoff series, win NBA championships, they play at their best, and that's what makes this team so good. I also wanted to get this comment here from Unique in the comments. It said, realistically, where do we lose this year? Not fun watching everyone get blown out. LAO. Like we said, realistically, in the NBA, you could lose on any given night, right? The Kings just beat the Nuggets last night. Westbrook had a great game. Shout out Russell Westbrook for last night's performance, by the way. But any given night, if you're not on your game, you could lose. So you don't want to go into every game thinking, okay, we're going to win by 20. which, I mean, for this OKC team, realistically, you should. But there are going to be games that are, it's going to get a little bumpy throughout the season. And that's where OKC has to, stay with it. Like I always mentioned last year, we played the Spurs in San Antonio and Dallas back to back, and I believe we lost both games back to back. We lost 2 in a row. Me personally, I like to overreact sometimes, and I was like, oh my God, this team isn't what I thought. They quickly reminded me who they are. So even if it does get to that point where they lose a game that they shouldn't, this team's going to win a lot of games. But with that being said, we're about 20. Oh, wait. Sapphire, you did have an injury update on JDub there?
Yep. Yeah, JDub and Wiggins. So I'll address the Wiggins one first because it's a little bit easier. He's been out with a thigh injury since that Sunday game against the Blazers. Also, that was, I think, mid-game, so that was a pretty big loss for us both ways. This is going to be his 9th game that he's been sidelined. There's no official reports of any positive feedback for his left eye. So technically he's reported week to week. What I'd probably say he's closer to, like, once he gets a reevaluation, then we'll know an actual amount of time. So as of right now, I wouldn't even put a date out there of early December or mid-December, because until they say something, like, I'm not going to, try to mess with the fans and say, oh, I think Wiggins is coming out this time, because especially with a soft tissue injury, 6 to 8 weeks is normal. So we're still looking at.
Sapphire, I'm just going to cut you off real quick because we got to shout out Mark Espinoza, a new member. Welcome to the family, Mark. Welcome to the community. Go check out our past members-only videos. And for you, no, I'm joking, for all of our members, we got 2 more coming out this week, so keep an eye out. Shout out to Mark Espinoza. Welcome to the community. Sapphire, go ahead.
Yes. So, yeah, just to finish up on the Wiggins, no major updates. We just got to wait for the Thunder to put something out. For JDub, I do have something a little bit more substantial. So when he got reevaluated, he had a little bit of a minor setback. So he was put for 10 to 14 days out. So that would put him for the first week of December. So that's when we'll see his next update come out, whether he has more setbacks or if he's going to be ready. And they say he's going to be ready. He'll probably be ready within that second week. So second week of December is probably what I'm looking at for JDub realistically, as long as there's no setbacks. Yeah,
realistically, that should be it. He looks very good in warm-ups. He hasn't had any brace on. He's been warming up. He's been at team shoot-around. So like Sapphire said, as long as everything goes right in the next week, could be the end of the first week of December, could be the second week, but he'll be back very shortly, which is very exciting news. But with that being said, shout out Butch as well for Go Mark. Yeah, everyone spam Go Mark in the chat. But anyway, it's time for everyone's favorite segment of the night. We're about 23 minutes in. And if you're new to the channel, it's called What the Hell is Jack Wearing? So every night, every time OKC wins on a post-game live, Jack wears a OKC jersey. He doesn't tell the panel, Unk's already on it. He doesn't tell the panel what jersey he's wearing or whose jersey he's wearing, and it's our job to guess it. I want all of you guys in the comments to drop your guess. What jersey is Jack wearing? It looks to be a blue away jersey. And I think they're all over it. But Sapphire, I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah, I try not to let the comments influence me too much. My first guess
in the comments right now.
Yeah, my first guess on this was I feel like the Chet one is the solid orange. So I feel like that'd be a really bad guess here. Looking at who had a good game for us, I think he may have preferred, man, so many people had a good game. Everyone likes AJ, but I am going to go with, I'm going to go with Hartenstein for some reason. It's just calling to me. It was between Hartenstein and Chet because I feel like, I don't know. I'm going with Hartenstein.
This is my favorite comment of the night. I bet it's not AJ, but I'm going him anyway. I love that original. That's awesome. We got an Isaiah Joe shout in the chat. We got a lot of people going AJ. We got Hartenstein. We got Wiggins.
We got J Will.
I believe Unko's Wiggins. I mean, we have J Will.
Yeah.
I have to guess here, and I really want this one because OKC had a wonderful victory today, but just to top it off, I need something more. I need something more, and I need to get this right here.
Inject it into your veins, Joe.
Yeah, I know. Listen. I'm going AJ Mitchell too. I'm going with all the fans in the chat here, all the members here. I'm going with AJ Mitchell as well. Jack, please tell me it's AJ Mitchell.
I'd just like to shout out, this is probably the most people we've ever had guests, so that's great. And then
Yes.
I love Satviz's thought process. I love seeing how much this is provoking the engines to turn in your brain. But without further, it is a Jalen Williams jersey.
Jalen Williams.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I whipped
He's
it out for
getting
the
us.
first time this year. Yeah.
You cannot.
I'm sorry,
do that.
guys.
It's too early for the JDub. You can't break out the JDub jersey yet.
It's not even
No.
Christmas.
It's not even Christmas, bro.
Come on.
Oh,
So no one got it tonight, but
guys, I'm sorry. I think we're gonna have to end the live. No, I'm joking. But I am very distraught right now. But let's get back to the game. Anyway. So with this win, OKC starts off 17-1. I thought last year's start was super impressive. I believe 17-1 is kind of like a fever dream right now. Where do you guys think we could end up this year realistically? And we both, don't give the answer we've already given, right? If OKC plays the way they should win every game. What's our chance at getting 74? That's the question. What's our chance at getting 74? And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that in the comments as well.
well,
75%? 75%. If I had to put a percentage on it, I think the 25 inside my brain goes Mark and Sam Presti think about it and they're like, do we really care about this record or is there something bigger at play? And we'll know the answer to whether they're going for it or not going for it in that second half of the season, post All-Star break. But I think naturally, like, winning 70 games should be pretty easy. So if you had to tell them, like, hey, if you go win 4 more, and about Shai, he doesn't just, if there's a record right there that he can go grab, he's not stat padding for it, but he'll go take it. And so, man, yeah, Mark, you're right. Don't ever go with the chat. That's why I never look at the chat. So,
Jack,
what do you think, Jack?
well, I'm just thinking about the way you said 70 wins is gonna be easy. Like, as a Thunder fan, that is just something crazy to think about. But yeah, like, what a conversation we're having. How many wins are we gonna get over 70? Like you said, second half of the season, we'll see if they're trying. But I think that if a team were to beat the all-time win record, this would definitely be the team to do it. So,
Andy,
I would love to see it happen.
Andy, bro, come on.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think it's getting realistic at this point. I do want to see us match up against Denver, and I know we don't match up against them for a while. I think it's February. We obviously get the Spurs back to back the day before the 23rd, and then on Christmas Day, that'll be a decent matchup if Wemby's back. I'd love to see us play the Lakers in LA. Obviously, we took care of them at home, but they do have LeBron back. It's a better team with LeBron than without. You got to admit it, as much as we don't want to. And like Sapri said, there's good teams on the East. I think the Knicks are solid. I think Detroit is fantastic to start the year. But Houston can't touch us. We already beat them without all of our players anyway. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see where we end up. Back to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because we need to talk about this right now. Shai's averaging 32.4 points and 6.6 assists in 32.9 minutes with still under 2 turnovers. He's shooting 54.5% from the field, 41 from 3, and he's up to 89.8 on the line. So he's almost at 50-40-90. And we can blame that on his past game. He had a rough night from the free throw line. That's almost a point per minute at 55, 41, and damn near 90%. I'm going to go to Satvir first. How is that not the MVP on a 17-1 team?
I mean, it's clearly the MVP. I even went through the spiel early on of all the stats Shai's accumulating and catching up to Wilt's 20-plus record. I mean, I just think it's not even close. I think this is a year where he should get unanimous MVP for the level of dominance from his own singular play, from his team play. It should be, he's got the greatest guard season going on right now, better than Steph Curry's 2016 season. We were kind of saying that last year, but it was still his first year and he hadn't won a championship, so it was hard to give it to him in that way. He got a lot of votes last year, and I think the only reason he may not get the unanimous is because maybe one or two analysts or whatever are spiteful, if I had to guess, because of the free throw merchant talk or whatever else. But if we had to be realistic about it, like, he should be unanimous MVP this season.
Yeah, I agree. If we continue this way, I mean, there's only been one team that started better than OKC, and that was the 73-9 Warriors at 18-0. Go ahead, Jack.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm not going to campaign too hard for his MVP because I believe it's in the books already. I don't need to convince Jokic and Luka fans that he's better than them at basketball. But I'm just excited to see him lift the trophy again because we know it's going to happen, and he'll shut everyone up again. And that's what I learned from last year. I'm not going to lose any sleep or waste any energy trying to talk to, because some of these guys don't understand basketball. So
yeah,
it will happen, and we'll be enjoying it when it happens.
And I love that confidence. I also Indy's really cracking me up over here. 17-65. Indy, from what we went through last year with you guys, I feel like you're able to actually turn the outcome of games. So please just say we're going to win 73 games next time. I appreciate that. No, I'm joking. And Sapphire, I wanted to bring this up to you as well, because you did mention the 3 maybe lottery picks and all that. Not that we were wishing for this. This isn't great for JDub himself, but he's now missed 18 games and is ineligible for postseason honors. He signed the 5-year, $241 million, obviously, dollar extension, but now he's going to miss out on some of that money this year. No All-Star, no All-NBA, no All-NBA defense. How important is that to OKC, especially for this offseason? And I don't really want to talk about the offseason too much, but I feel like it's a proper time to bring it up since he is now ineligible.
Yeah, I was literally about to just bring it up because I follow Bobby Marks for all things related to cap space and anything else. He's the only one that truly has read it word for word all the way through. So he's the only one I really trust when it comes to cap navigating, and maybe a couple other guys. But missing out on an extension worth between 250 to 289 million, and the difference of him just only getting 241 is huge. 40 million is someone's contract on this team between two players. So it realistically puts us in great shape in just the sense of it's way easier to convince the owners. It's essentially a 2-for-1. Like, hey, buy one, get one free, in my opinion. It's like, hey, we already saved 40 million, not on purpose, obviously, but just we saved 40 million here. Go ahead and chuck that to one guy. And just to keep the roster together, we can ask for 40 more million because I know what the overall cap space is, even if going into the second part of the luxury tax or whatever it is, the second apron, it shouldn't be an issue for them to pay even 40 more million. So I would say good news would be we should be able to retain everyone just from like a paying out perspective. It just depends on if that's the way they want to, go with flexibility wise. From an ownership and a city, from a fan perspective, from everywhere else outside of who's going to be writing those checks, it should be a no-brainer. But for that person, that's kind of their decision on their money and how they want to spend it. So it's really going to be coming down to a money, is the 40 million worth that extra player that we're going to sign or not? Or can we just replace that with a bunch of picks? I feel like we can easily replace it with a bunch of picks that are coming in. We have in total like 5 picks this season. 3 of them could be in the lottery. 1 of them could be just a first rounder. We could move up into like the top 5 twice over if we wanted to. So I'm not really worried about roster construction or flexibility. It's really dependent on whatever the Thunder want to do, they can do moving forward with however,
Mhm.
whatever players they want to do. The three guys that are going to remain a consistent on this roster is the core. Everyone else can be subject to movement or not movement. I don't really even think it matters if they're moved or not. I just think we're just that good between those three guys that why not pay everyone? Like, my question would be, why not? And I think Presti's going to ask that same question, and he's a master negotiator from the top down. So from the bottom level with the players, he's great. And with the ownership, if he's great with the players, he's going to be just as good with the ownership. So I don't see why they wouldn't approve of him spitting knowledge and him knowing about basketball. And the ownership has not really gotten too involved with making basketball decisions. So, and this is a very rich organization for fans that don't know. They are located in Oklahoma, but this is a billionaire with a B, so he can write checks. So we're good.
Sorry, I was muted for a second. I do want to get to this comment from our new member, Mark Espinoza. He said, 2 tough games back-to-back this week. Want to see Wallace put the clamps on Ant-Man Wednesday. Call me selfish, but I want that cup trophy. You're not selfish, bro. We all want that shit. I'm sure all the players want it too.
Oh, yeah. I know the guys on the bench definitely want that.
They definitely want that.
That's money. A lot of money, man.
And mind you, we lost in the cup championship last year. So, hell yeah, we want that. And we definitely want to see Ant get clamped on Wednesday. It's always fun beating up on the Minnesota Timberwolves. So hell yeah. Unc also said, we love talking about this because he said Dort will be the first to go in his opinion. I want to lay out. I disagree with you, Unc. I really do, and that's fine. We love the comment anyway. I just think he's too vital to this team's success. You see when he comes in, the defense he plays. I want to remind you of the Western Conference Finals against Anthony Edwards. How much of a struggle it was for Anthony Edwards to even get the ball, mind you, not even put it in the rim, or in the net, I should say. Lu Dort's defense, he's a first-team all-defensive player, and he also shot 40% from 3 last year.
I want to chime in real quick. The person's names that I wasn't mentioning, I'll just be more outright. Hartenstein and Dort are the 2 guys coming up on their contracts. They have the larger contracts.
Yep.
The reason I was saying buy one, get one free at this point, because they're both going to be making substantial money. And so for sure, we'll be able to keep one of them now moving forward, just, entering like the first apron. But if it's between either of them, I don't think either of them have to be let go moving forward. We're able to pay them both. So he's the guy that I think everyone's out on, and he's the guy that I'm fully bought in on. Longest tenured guy that Jack always mentions. And then on top of that, he has the special ability. No one else in the NBA, I truly believe this, not even Alex Caruso, has the ability to legit take out any all-star or superstar or whatever star out of the game. It's only Lu Dort. Literally, there's no one versatile as he is from 1 through 4, and those are the main positions you really have to guard. Centers are a lot easier to guard. You can just double up on the paint. We already have 2 great paint protectors there. But Lu Dort, he's a guy that we've seen shut down LeBron. I mean, all-time level players. Luka's an all-time level offensive engine, and he's been able to slow him down or keep him at a very steady level that no one else could. If you guys remember, 24 points per game in the year previous to this one, against that Maverick series in that second round. So I think we're in a good spot with Lu Dort, and he's a culture setter. And man, I wouldn't like to let him go like that. So not for free, at least. And if we're not getting anything out of it, there's no way. And I don't think I could see Lu Dort in any other jersey but ours. Like, he's got to retire with us.
No.
Lu Dort
no way.
belongs in Oklahoma City. Always.
Yeah.
Xavier, go check chat. But with that being said, we are about 39 minutes in. I do just want to make a shout out to everybody watching right now. We got about 91 of you guys total right now. Want to say we love you all. We're so thankful that you guys have been here with us for the ride, commenting. Your comments are always great. We love responding to all the comments. We love all you guys for joining the memberships on our YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, go check those out, the premium memberships. I promise you they are worth it. We release 2 members-only videos per week. There's also a bunch of perks that come along with it. You could join us up here on this panel once a week live. You could come record our weekly members-only videos with us behind the scenes. Go check that out. We'll follow you back on all social, so go check that out. With that being said, Satvir, it's your segment now. It's time for Satvir segment of the night.
I got us. All right, guys. So we're going to have a little fun here. I'm going to let the comment section kind of go first, similar to Jack's own segment. This is the first time for me doing a segment, and I just kind of came up with this on the spot. We're doing a start, bench, cut, and what are you choosing between these three elite point guards? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Steph Curry this season. Let's hear it in the comment section below. I'll give you guys a little bit of a chance to talk about it. Obviously, we kind of know what they are from a ranking perspective, but I have a take that certain fan base may not like or appreciate me for. So I can't wait to I'll go first on mine, and then I'll have Joe and Jack go on theirs next. But let's read some of these comments here. So start Shai, bench Steph, cut Luka right there.
I think he might be agreeing with you, Hotspot.
Yes.
I think Satvir might be agreeing with you.
And then Indy's always a smart guy, and he only gets to prove his point even more so by agreeing with me, of course. We got start SGA, bench Steph, cut Luka. Just because I'm saying that, or a couple comments are saying that, you guys can give your own opinions out. I know this is kind of a fresh segment, so I wanted to start easy out for us, but I'll make them harder as we go. But Unk says SGA 1. Nature Bay said SGA 1. Just another guy said Shai easily. I'm sure he's saying starting him. And yeah, we're gonna make a fire graphic for this one. Don't you guys worry. You guys go follow that Instagram page, and we'll have that up for you guys shortly. But I'm going with Shai, Steph, Luka, but I'm not gonna give my rationale until you guys go. So let's hear it, Joe.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I don't want those tippy toe ones. I need the full...
no. So pretty much for me, it's start Shai, bench Steph, cut Luka, and I'll explain why. And Jack, jump in with me on this because I'm gonna lead it right to you here.
Mm-hmm.
Shai's the best point guard in the NBA. It's no doubt, no question. That's an easy one, right? I need off my bench. I need a veteran who plays winning basketball. And I think there's one point guard on that list who does not play winning basketball. And I think I'm going to let Jack explain that one because I think he agrees exactly where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I mean, Luka doesn't play defense. He doesn't try when he doesn't want to. His motivation is dependent on if the ball's going through the hoop. He doesn't stick it out. He doesn't play winning basketball. I've said it this whole year. And that is why, even though Luka's numbers are better than Curry, all of us have gone cut Luka, bench Curry. Like, everyone knows ball. You can see it. His attitude, his defense is just not as well-rounded as Shai and Curry, so no one really wants him on the team. But as someone like myself who supports another team with Shai on it, I can appreciate his skills in the passing and scoring, but I wouldn't want him on my team because I know that my team would never be successful with him on it. And argue with me all you like, but that's my take.
I'm gonna go just strictly on the basketball court. I'm not gonna talk about his attitude or anything else. We already kind of know that part. But the main thing about Steph's game that differentiates from Luka's game is Steph does one thing really, really well, and I'm not talking about three-point shooting. He will run around like a marathon runner for a full game from the start of his career to the end of his career to get as many open looks, and he understands his size and he understands his deficiencies, so he makes up for it by putting that work in right on the court. And even Shai knows what his deficiencies are. Like, he's not a high flyer, so he knows he had to learn to, be a more balanced player. Literally, as a player, he had to be more agile and more balanced to really get to the rim. Luka doesn't have something that stands out to me other than the oohs and ahs of a 40-foot three every now and then, I literally can't point to where one move where I'm like, all right, as an elite scorer, we know Kevin Durant from the top of the key, boom, easy. Yep. LeBron James, he can do whatever he wants on the court, right? Like there's all these guys that are championship
SGA
top
midi.
15. Yeah, SGA midi. They all have something where we're like, okay, game on the line. I know he's doing this. Luka Doncic, he's trying to go for some flashy step back thing or a turnaround fader or whatever else that he can come up with in the moment. But he doesn't have one thing that opens him up, right? If there's a guy that's like Lou Dort and standing in front of him, he can't really get by him because he doesn't have the space and pace or whatever. And so he hasn't improved his body or his game on the court to make that happen. And that's why he's the easy cut between those two. So that's my like actual in-game analysis between these guys, because two of them have something that they do really special. And Luka Doncic has not committed himself to doing one thing that makes him elite yet.
Right,
and I think he still has that chance to do so. But until I see it, he can't be put into the tier list for benching just yet. Because even at Steph Curry's age, I know Steph's going to run around and he's going to get his open looks one way or another, right? Luka, game goes off, he's sitting in the corner.
Right.
And you cannot have that in any moment in a basketball game. He reminds me of James Harden.
Yeah.
Where
similar player.
James will just be like, okay, I'm disassociating. CP3, Russell Westbrook, you guys dribble the air out of the ball, give it to me if you want to, and I'll chuck up a three. And Luka literally does the same thing on a lot of possessions. Austin Reeves, go ahead and do what you want, and I'll just chuck up a shot when I get it because I'm not going to be able to do anything else. And you can't really have that type of player. He looks really nice when it's just him and he's balling and he's hooping and he's making everything. But outside of that, it's not, like you guys said, winning basketball. So I think we're all in agreement. I'll make this harder segment next time we do this.
Honestly, no, it was a great segment. We'll have a good name for it next time. But that'll wrap up the Sapphire segment, we're going to call it for right now. But with that being said, we are going to look to wrap up. We're about 47 minutes in. Quick thoughts on the Timberwolves Wednesday. One sentence each.
I can't wait. It's going to be the first true test of the year, I think. And I can't wait to see how Ajay Mitchell and Casey Wallace do against the Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards. Yeah. That's my sentence.
My sentence for this will be, we need to play a lot of defense. It's going to be that simple. If we want to win against that team specifically, they can get out in offense. We need to play a lot of defense. Anthony Edwards, you give him an ounce of belief, he will run with that and drop 40 on your head. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if Lou Dort's in front of him. He's one of those guys where he's athletic enough, unlike a Luka Doncic, where you could throw 3 or 4 bodies at him. He will get tired over time, but he will still produce because he's just so athletic. And there's a lot of, it's rare to have that kind of engine and motor, and Anthony Edwards has that engine. So if we're not going to play defense early on him and he gets a lot of rest, by the fourth quarter, he will, if he's in the game, he's going to look to put us out. So that'll be my word of advice. Don't let him stay in that game, especially come into the fourth, because we'll have a battle on our hands, if I'm honest.
Tabby, we're going to be rooting for OKC on Wednesday. Sorry, but your brother's going to have to lose on Wednesday. Nature said BTA. That's what he thinks of the Wolves, no comp. I agree with that. Unk said see y'all on Wednesday. And here we go. Indie Sports. The score prediction of the Thunder to 2,204 to the Timberwolves 2,201 final in 81 overtimes.
Please no.
I think that's accurate. I actually think that's a really good prediction by Indy there. But with that being said, we're going to wrap up here. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and who tunes in consistently. We love all of you guys. Stay tuned for Wednesday's game preview. If you're new to the channel, we do game previews. And we post those at like 5 hours before each game, and then we're live after every game. Again, if you want to go check out our premium memberships on the YouTube channel, go do so. We want to get some of you guys on here with us to come join the panel for one of the lives. Mark, one of our members here, said we got to clamp their big three and we'll be good. Absolutely agree with that. And with that being said, everyone, OKC, have a good night. We will see you Wednesday. And Thunder up, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.